Well, if you've clicked on this video, that means you have the exact skill set that you need to do the two things that can increase your Facebook ad performance that I'm about to show you. What is that skill set, you might be wondering? It's called the ability to left click. I'm the last person that claims clicking buttons in your ad account will actually improve performance. But in this week's video, I'm gonna be talking about two buttons that actually have a pretty good impact on overall sales. And I'm gonna show you what those two things are right now. What's going on, everyone? It's Spencer here. And if you're new to the channel, I run a growth focused agency by the name of Easy A Media, where we help multiple 6- and 7-figure Shopify brands scale to $1 million plus per month. And as I mentioned in the beginning, let's just go ahead and jump right into what these two magical buttons are, where you need to go to actually click them, and then show you the data of why clicking these buttons can actually lead to way better performance. Let's make it happen. All right, so as you can see, we're now inside the screen. And the first thing that I just want to call out, I'm going to be making this video assuming that you're already running Facebook ads. But if you aren't already running Facebook ads, then simply when you set up your campaign, just make sure you do this as well. Now, if we jump back into the screen, click into the ad set level. So you can either just click ad set, whatever it is. And then what you're going to do is you're going to click this duplicate button right here. And you're just going to select original campaign, and you're going to click this magical blue button that says duplicate. And now, as you can see, we're going to have a duplicate ad set here. And what you're actually going to do is you're obviously just going to rename this. Again, we want to make sure that we're keeping track of everything. And so what I'm actually going to do to the end of this is just call this websites and shop, which is actually going to give you a hint into what this first optimization is, which is changing your conversion location from just websites to website and shop. Now, if you're already running meta shops, then you have probably seen a bigger uptick in performance. But if you are not leveraging meta shops right now, we are honestly applying this agency wide across all of our ad accounts. And we're doing that really for two reasons. Number one is that Facebook and Instagram are actually giving your customers discounts and eating the cost by encouraging users to actually check out on Instagram shops or Facebook shops. Again, this actually has zero additional cost for you. Meta is the one that actually covers it. And it's basically happening across multiple different accounts. And they're doing that to try to get people to stay shopping on the platform compared to actually going to Shopify or whatever commerce store that you're using. So giving discounts to your customers that actually doesn't cost you anything is a great incentive to actually just use the shops tool. And the main reason, honestly, why we're using meta shops is because it is providing way better performance. To give you context, these two ad sets right here are the exact same ad sets. The only difference is one is optimizing for purchases and one is optimizing for meta and website purchases. And what's really cool here is you can see the breakdown on conversions, and you can see the purchases that shops is actually assisting with. And now, obviously, because that was a smaller account, let me just show you a brand that over the last 2 days has done $40,000 of their $144,000 in total sales just from Facebook and Instagram shops alone. When I say it's crushing for us, it is absolutely crushing for us. Now, to go back to the actual setup, when you do this, a few things are going to happen. Okay, you're going to essentially have to connect your commerce account. Now, for whatever reason you don't have a commerce account or a meta shop set up, just simply Google how to set up a Facebook shop. Or if you just like seeing my face and you want me to actually film a tutorial on this, just drop a comment down below and I'd be more than happy to do so. But with that said, you're going to make sure that you select your commerce account and that you have a website and shop enabled in your Facebook ad account. It's super important that when you go into the actual ad level, and for the sake of this client, we're just going to try to blur some stuff out over here. So if you see some blurring, that's what it's all about. But if you actually scroll down to the destination section here, you can actually change the destination that you want to send people to as well. Now, in this instance, we can choose to send people to the homepage. Or what's really awesome is that Meta is actually able to pick up the exact product that you're running based off of the URL that you've given it, and it will actually recommend that landing page or that shop landing page for you. But if you're seeing, for example, that maybe collection pages are doing better, you can simply select collection page and choose whatever collection page that you want to send to as well. Say, for example, if you have some kind of video or whatever it may be. To be honest, we've been sending all of our product focused ads just to the actual product page itself. What we're doing doing some general video that shows a mix of products will either send to the collection page or the home page. But long story short, as long as you go in and optimize those two areas and make sure that you're actually leveraging Meta Shops, just by clicking a few buttons, you can actually start to see an improvement in performance. Now, our agency is actually in the process right now of really figuring out how much better website and shops is versus websites alone. But from the accounts that we've implemented this in, performance has shot up almost right away. So if you're not using websites and shops, make sure you start using it right after this video. Now, the second thing that I'm actually going to recommend that you do, and as you can see, we're in this same ad account, and these are actually the two things that we did for this client to take them from a 0.89x return on ad spend through the week to a 5.29x return on ad spend over the last 3 days, is by number one, switching to shops, but number two, switching from ABO style campaigns to, if we go to the last 3 days, a CBO style campaign. And now if you're wondering why we have done this, it's because we trust Facebook with our budget. And as you can see, just by moving from ad set level budget to a campaign level budget, plus adding the websites and shops, we've been able to literally quintuple their return on ad spend over the last 3 days and optimize their spend. This is an area that I've talked about before on the channel, where it is so much better to be using CBO compared to ABO for this exact reason. But obviously, we're talking about an account that is spending $60 a day. So let's go ahead and jump into some bigger accounts to emphasize this further. Here's an ad account that has spent $25,000 over the last 7 days. And by using CBO versus ABO to test their creatives, you can see that inside of here, they have some ads that have barely spent anything. And they also have some ads that have spent over $20,000 and delivered the absolute best return for them. And before you think, oh, well, that's a 2x return on ad spend, whatever. Here's another ad account that, outside of a single advantage shopping campaign, which if we jump in just so you can see it, which as a side note is also kind of like running CBO because there's only one ad set in an advantage shopping campaign. But to further my point, we've actually spent $35,000 over the last 7 days at a 2.98x return on ad spend and generated over $100,000 in sales. That's running strictly CBO, just trusting Facebook with our actual budget. Now to go back to this account here, again, the reason why this is so much more beneficial is because we're not forcing spend on ad creatives. If you actually take a look at this April 15th to April 19th period, we were forcing Facebook to spend $100 on this ad set, and it got 0 conversions. And we were also forcing Facebook to spend $100 on this ad set, which, you know, did pretty decent in comparison to the rest of the account. And then we were also forcing $100 on this ad set, which, as you can see, has not done that well. And as I've already shown, just by simply saying, hey, Facebook, rather than forcing spend on this ad set or forcing spend on this ad set, here's 3 ad sets for you to choose spend on, and you just spend on the ones that are the best. And as you can see, performance has gotten way better. And if you're wondering where this button is to actually click, if you scroll down, you'll notice there's a cool little tab down here that says Advantage Campaign Budget, and you're simply going to turn that on. And then from there, you have to click a few more buttons, but then you just set your overall daily budget. So say, for example, if you're spending $20 a day across 4 ad sets for $80 total, you will simply move that to the CBO level, where you can then spend your $80 there, and of course, click publish. A lot of people still think that you need to tell Facebook exactly what to spend on and that you can't trust it to do the targeting for you. But I'm telling you, as someone who is actually overseeing millions of dollars spent every single month on Facebook ads, you just need to let Facebook do its thing. Just to do a quick recap, these are 2 buttons that you can click right away to see better performance in your ad account. Number 1 is just duplicating whatever ad set that you are currently running and changing the objective from website sales only to website and shop, because again, it's absolutely smashing. And then finally, shift your budget from ABO level to CBO level and watch how much better your performance will get, even if you're just spending $60 a day on ads, or if you're spending $8,000 a day on ads. I'm telling you, those are 2 things that we are seeing right now that are actually helping Facebook ad performance. Now, one final thing that I want to note is if you are based in Canada, unfortunately like myself, or some other countries, Meta Shops are actually not available. At least in some of our accounts, they aren't. So make sure that you go and check your ad account to see if you have Meta Shops available. And if for whatever reason you can't seem to figure out how to get Meta Shops enabled, I would highly recommend just to make sure that you contact Facebook. But if you are based in the US and you are not leveraging shops, I'd highly recommend you to do it. And again, something that everyone can do is move your budget from ABO level to the CBO level and just trust Facebook to spend your money efficiently, which it's very happy to do. Well, if you made it all the way to the end, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this week's video. All I ask is that if you enjoyed, to click the share button down below and send this to someone else who you also think could get value. And if you happen to have a Shopify brand and you're looking for the help of a growth focused team to help you scale, I'd highly encourage you to apply to work with my agency down below. And if you want to get closer to me, there's actually a link below to join my mentorship, where I will actually take you behind the scenes of everything that we do to scale brands to $1 million a month and help you do the same in your business. Once again, thank you so much for watching this week's video, and I'll see you next week.